Hello, I'm Alastair McIntyre for electricscotland.com, and I would like to tell you about our Gazetteer section of the website. The Gazetteer came about because when I was in St Andrews in Scotland, I was talking to the retired Chief Librarian of St Andrews University. And in the conversation I mentioned that I'd really like to put up a good Gazetteer of Scotland, but I hadn't really a clue, where to get one or what would be a good one. And he actually said, Alistair, I just this morning came from this bookshop locally here in St Andrews, and they have what I consider to be the best gazetteer ever written about Scotland. It's actually called the Ordnance Gazetteer of Scotland, with a particular date that it was written. He apparently thought it was the best one of the lot. So he said, if you want to dash down there, it might still be there and you can get a copy. So I proceeded down, and there was this 6-volume set, and so I bought it. So the Gazetteer has travelled with me from Scotland to the USA and now up in Canada. And we're at time of me doing this little video clip, we've almost completed volume 4. So it's become a really great resource basically, and I just felt that we should highlight it in our main menu. So the thing is, when you click on the Gazetteer, you will go to a page that we've set up for it, an index page, and you'll see A through to Z, and if you click the individual letter, it will bring up all the villages and towns and places of interest starting with that letter. It's been organised basically alphabetically, so you just scroll down till you get to the letters you want, and then you can read all about that particular place. I will say that there's a lot of entries in the Gazetteer which maybe only have a few lines about the place, but equally there's many that have pages about a particular place. I usually suggest that, if you've been interested in your Scottish clan and you're a member of a clan society, you'll likely know where that area of your clan dwelt in Scotland. And if you get out a map and have a look at all the wee towns and villages in that area, you could then go to the Gazetteer, click on the individual towns and villages, and actually learn a lot more about them. And that will give you a really interesting background to your own clan lands. So I think the Gazetteer is an amazingly good resource, and as I say, hopefully we'll have it finished quite quickly, because we are marching on with it now. But up to today, we are certainly almost finished the L's, so that's the 4th volume. The other thing I might say is that when you arrive at the index page, we also have a section for each of the individual volumes, and the reason for that is that at the start of every volume they actually produce some pictures of parts of Scotland, which are very interesting. They're all black and white ones, of course, but nevertheless interesting. But they also do a series of maps for the regions of that area. So we've actually scanned in all those maps, and I might add that while a lot of them will be scanned in on an A4 scanner or letter scanner, there's quite a few that are far too big to scan in, and so I've ended up playing around and scanned them in sections. In some cases they need 3 different scans, and then what I've done is I've used software here to try and join them all together. I think I've done a pretty good job, maybe not absolutely perfect, but I think pretty good. The other thing about these maps, however, you should notice is that some of them can be very big. I mean, 15 megabytes, for example. But the thing is that if you actually looked at the maps in the book, you would find you'd have to get a magnifying glass out to actually make out some of the wee towns and villages that are mentioned in the map. So I've deliberately scanned them in very large so that these little towns and villages are all readable when you actually look at the big map. The big map's not really designed to be printed out, on your own personal printer, because they're really far too big for that. But at least online you can scroll around the page to look for all the wee villages and everything are in there. But I think these maps are a fantastic resource. So we'll have one more volume to go after that, and that will complete all the maps for the whole of Scotland in there. So I just think it's an amazing resource, and certainly I've learned a lot about places in Scotland. I never even knew the names of these places, but for example, I've just done one on Loch Madden, And I don't think I've ever heard of Loch Madden, yet it takes up about 4 pages to tell you about Loch Madden, so obviously some interesting things went on there. And I say they do give you the background and the history of some of the places in there. In fact, a lot of the places. There's a lot of people's names mentioned in there and so forth. So, a really good resource. So there you go. That's our Gazetteer section of Electric Scotland. Just click on the Gazetteer link and you can explore and enjoy reading about the history of some of these interesting places.